All right. What is up, everybody? Keith Jameson, go by. Gator Guy 231, the Sorare industry. Just tagging it up. Hoop. Alex Hooper, Tilt City fame. What's up, my man?
Not much, brother. Just getting ready for the postseason. Very excited.
All right.
Postseason
Talk.
and NBA preseason too. Watched my Cavs last night.
And how did that look? I've watched no preseason. I feel
Good,
completely underprepared.
good. They looked
Yeah.
they looked good.
The Spider.
Yeah, I wasn't so sure about the roster construction with old Spider coming to town, but I
Hold
mean
on.
it's one preseason game, but it looked all right.
So, you know when I knew it would all be okay?
When's that?
Alex, for when Dean Wade resigned.
Hey, he looked good. That's our starting three.
I, I hate to say this, but Dean Wade's on the floor. Good things happen.
I'll take it. I haven't he hasn't blown me away or anything yet, but
You should actually look like deep, Mr. Analytics, deep analytics guy. I think I remember hearing this, but Dean Wade was like part of like their top four lineups last year. All had Dean Wade. Sorry, by the way, there's not a kid dying in the background. It's just a kid. We'll see how this day goes. But yeah,
being a
Dean
kid,
Wade.
yeah.
That
He's
that would be a
excited about
fun.
Dean Wade.
I
That's
mean,
what's funny.
I mean, I don't even know if Dean Wade's family is as excited as my kid is to hear him. But it would actually be really awesome if Sorare MBA has anything like that. Like I don't know, plus minus. That probably is a disaster. But give a guy like Dean Wade utility Sorare MBA. Come on.
How about a how about a multiplier for stacking? Because I feel like it's
Oh boy.
almost a bad thing in the NBA sometimes.
Oh, because obviously there's only one ball and there's only
Yeah,
one assist, one
yeah.
rebound, one.
That would be it
Well,
would be sticky. I'm just throwing it out there. I haven't thought that through, but
I do wonder like what the holdup is at this point. We're getting really close. Like there was enough no enough leadway that I'm pretty shocked we're this close to start of the season. Haven't seen the product release.
yeah, less than 2 weeks until at least the Cavs opener at this point. Their opener
It's
was 2 weeks from
close, man.
yesterday. Yeah, but maybe
It's
I'm still anticipating an absolute onslaught of marketing starting in the postseason. Like I think every single commercial break during the postseason, we're going to see a so rare advertisement, and I don't know what the I don't know how MLB would feel about them being like, we got Sorare MLB, go play Sorare MLB, and also we got the NBA, and like using
yeah. I mean, they
MLB's
don't want to
time. Yeah,
cross,
right. But
but at the
it
same time,
might be that.
the Top Shot crowd has a ton of money, and now it's like a ton of jaded money now
I
too.
was
It's
gonna say,
like
do they have money or do they lose it all?
they had they had I still think there'll be some big guys that come out the woodwork if Soder does it right.
hmm
So anyhow, let's not speculate too much. I do want to just hit on though. You just mentioned it with the postseason starting. Like, how's that looking for you personally?
Good. I told myself I wasn't gonna like ratchet up for the postseason. Like I wasn't going to go buy cards specifically for the
You
postseason.
you even said this on So Rare in the States too. I listened to you on that. It was a good show with
Thank
Trippin,
you.
an MLS card guy. So you
Yes, it was
you
nice to
you
talk
put
about.
it you put the trails out there. You wouldn't do it, and here we are. And
I Let's see. Yesterday I bought a Mitch Haniger super rare from You'll Never Walk Alone. Um, I'm very happy with the price and um where I think he'll contribute next year. So it wasn't just a playoff buy and kind of, I mean, my rare stack is the Jays, so it's either going to be I lose my Haniger super rare or I lose my whole rare stack. But so that was more, it was both. It was definitely to have a little bit more of a shot this weekend because there's like 50 teams. They're still giving away 35 prizes. And if I have a full team in super rare, like I have a pretty good shot to win a decent prize. So then, I put together my rosters and I started looking at early projections and I was like, what do I still need for like a really complete team? So I went out and I bought a JP Crawford for like 0.014, like nothing flashy, but a guy who's going to be out there. So I'm basically just buying warm bodies for the first round, just to because they didn't. they didn't knock down the prize pool at all. Like it's still the same size prize pool for what you're gonna have is a lot of dead lineups or a lot of non-full lineups. So
You're right, like a lot of zeros, like like year ago, so rare football midweeks, where it was
exactly.
like field a team, like you've seen the few that the you go to server data and you as soon as the week goes and it goes 42% of players complete and you're like game hasn't even kicked off yet.
Yeah,
Fantastic.
right. Exactly. Yep.
I
So
like
yeah,
it.
I'm trying to leverage that. The other thing was I went out and like I had a couple of like backups, like a Will Myers and like a Will Benson, um, in my All-Star Limited lineup, and I looked at some pricing, and like Nick Castellanos was 0.003, and Reese Hoskins was like 0.004 for a limited. So I'm like,
Limited.
oh, that's
Limited.
fine because what I could generate, like I'll probably just make something close to it back, and it's not like I'm not going to use the same Phillies stack I'm using in rare. It's not like I'm not going to use them in limited next year. So I've made incremental purchases. I haven't gone buck wild unless you consider the Mitch Haniger that, but I am still trying to find just one more guy who might play, one more super rare that I can plug in and like really round out that lineup and just pray I get like 4 points out of him. And I have someone in mind. I just haven't DM'd the person who I know has them and
Oh,
might want to get rid of them.
DM. Unless it's somebody you know.
It is.
Uh
It is someone I know.
okay. So that's a little more okay. I don't know. Did you get a chance to listen to the pet peeves episode yet?
I did not. No, I did
All
not.
right.
It's
You
it's
you
next
you
up in
should
my
you should
queue.
hit up, but one of the pet peeves I brought up, that layer that I shared, and I think Black kind of made fun of me on, but and I woke up to it this morning. That's why it's like fresh in my mind. But it's the notification of a friend request, notification of a message request, the robot wave, and
Yes.
I'm just like,
Yep. I know
like
that.
I haven't had my coffee yet. I don't want to deal with this. And then the pet peeves ended up going on to you're about to tell me why my player isn't worth what I'm asking. That
It's
he probably is about to get benched. He may or may not had an affair with the manager's wife. I remember there was like this one I saw, and the guy was talking to me about how he saw a clip of the previous game, and I really shouldn't like the way that the guy's knee turned. And I'm like, but you want to buy him.
what's your lowest price?
What's your lowest price? I think we Tuggy responded in the comment like that he likes to respond back, what's your highest price?
I think that is the appropriate response to that.
I've thought
Like,
about that a lot because I would
like
always just be like list price, and I think that just invites them to explain why list price is wrong.
yeah. Yeah. Yeah,
And
that's generally always my answer is like I don't really want to go lower than list price. Like that's why I put them there.
I think this is the best answer truly is. What's your
There's
highest, man?
yeah, that
Not
is my
good enough.
lowest.
Not
Right.
good enough. Take your robot and wave to somebody else.
So what else doesn't Laird like? Because he may or may not be the person I'm talking about that I need to solicit
Oh boy.
for a player
I mean,
a player I already told him wasn't very good, but he
well, that was definitely odd. Like
I'm gonna
Laird
hit him
doesn't
with the
like Laird
robot.
doesn't like Laird. I think one of Laird's biggest. I don't remember if it's in the episode, but just talking with Laird for like the last year and a half or whatever. I think you really get on his annoyance if you offer him players in a trade that he already has.
I
Because
don't think that'll be a problem. I don't have any
he's like,
Mets.
I want you to do your research. If you're gonna offer me a trade, like you know, at least try to understand what I need and fulfill my needs so we can both benefit from this trade. And nothing really like gets him more annoyed is if you already offer him a player and he'll respond back, you mean this guy?
Yeah. That's funny. That's a deep cut. I like how this is just becoming a supplementary episode to the pet peeves, but
Oh
it's all good
man.
stuff. It's
Especially
all
if
good
you
stuff.
haven't listened yet.
Yeah, true. I'm gonna have a new appreciation going in for it. That's
I
that's
mean,
actually that's a deep cut. I didn't think about that because I used to get that a lot, like because a lot of my soccer cards were Asian, and I would get offers for like someone would try and come get my starting defender and like send me 2 European players that are in off season, and like I would just be like, yeah, then I don't have a lineup, so I don't know that I would expect them to go look at my gallery or anything, but also my gallery is not that big, like it wouldn't be that hard. So, but yeah,
I mean,
player trades in general are trash.
I hate player trades. I think the other one I just realized as you were saying to me that I can't stand is take a look at my gallery. Like
Yes,
the trader,
yes,
take a
that's
look at my
worse.
gallery and tell me it's like, no, I wasn't trying to invest my time
No,
in making you happy.
right.
Like, no, it has to be the other way around. You look at my gallery and decide what you think. I don't know. It's
Here's
just hard.
something.
I was
How
thinking
about
about today. Go ahead. I'm sorry.
how about you look at your own gallery and figure out something that's actually a good trade and sending me like instead of sending me 3 benched players, a backup keeper who played 2 games, and you think I'm gonna be like, oh my god, this guy's the starter now, and that I got one of those yesterday, and I'm just like, I I blocked the person because they had sent me like 2, 3 trades in a row, and it was all like the same thing, like trying to take advantage of bench players. I
I'm
blocked
like, I
them, and
can't
then
do this.
I unblocked. I unblocked everybody on my block list because I was like, all right, I don't need to be petty, except the one guy who scammed me. I didn't
Oh,
block him, or I
oh,
did unblock
the
him,
way back the Maku
something like that. Yeah,
Noni.
yeah,
I
really,
remember
I
that.
don't know. Yeah,
No, so I don't like player trades. I just don't work. So it was interesting though. I had a really good. Well, maybe we'll talk about it if we get. But I had a really awesome weekend in terms of SO5, and but awesome weekend, and then the prizes I got are like pretty much not anything I can use. So the biggest one was Alex Merritt, who
yeah,
I'm sure I'm saying his name wrong because he's Italian,
yeah, right.
and Merritt does not sound Italian. But
He just
he
signed an
was.
extension yesterday.
I saw that. I saw that. But so I listed him right away for a little bit under the last auction, which you do that on a top player, and the offers are going to come. And I'm actually curious your opinion here. I ended up getting a sale for what I had him listed for, so it was great. It was a fun notification. But like before then, the guy that ended up finally paying full price had offered me just under, so 1.75 ETH, and he offered 1.7, which I was sitting there. I was probably about to accept. I'm just like, I don't want to lose a deal over 0.05 when you're talking about that much, right? So in the span of that time, though, somebody offered me 0.8 ETH plus a player now that he hadn't sold for an ETH deal in about a week. It was Musa Diaby, who you probably know that name from Bayer
Yeah,
Leverkusen.
I
Good
won him
player.
once.
Limited or rare?
Limited.
Okay. I was gonna say if it's rare, I don't know if you'll like how much he goes for. But so he was kind of hard to evaluate, but the floor on him was like 1.15. So effectively that's like 1.95 ETH. Okay. If you use the floor, but I don't necessarily want to use the floor because there's like one at 1.15 and one at 1.149. So you can see there are like 2 dudes that are like battling it out, right?
Right. I would take the liquid 100 times out of 100,
Good.
even for less.
That's so what I ended up doing was I was like, all right, let me just see what happens. I won't respond to this guy. It's late enough in the day. I can claim I went to sleep if I get the robot wave in the morning or something. And I just knew there was enough like interest in him. I figured he would sell or I'd get something similar to that offer at some point before game week.
Right.
And meanwhile, decline the player trade, see if maybe he decides to get a little bit more frisky. Because it was a good trade. It's just at the same time, it's like I can't use this Diaby
Right.
that well. I don't play U23.
Yeah.
And I can't really, there's an undercutting war going on. I can see this from a mile away. And I can't really like fixate a value. I'd just rather take the ETH. So you agree on that?
Yeah, 100%. It's funny that actually happened to me yesterday too, because I listed my final rare goalkeeper as the Asia season comes to an end, and I was kind of like, do I want extra ETH for the postseason and NBA or whatever? Do I want to chase another super rare? So I listed him, and I had the same exact thing where I had a couple of bids come in way under. I was like, no, like it's not worth it to me. I'd rather just try and chase the threshold. And um, then that bidding war started going on with two people, and then I would get one, and then the other person came in just a little bit higher, and I declined the first one, and then the other person jumped that one, and I declined the second one, and then eventually someone just bought it for what I had listed. So
I
it's
love pettiness. You know what would be awesome? They would never do this. They don't have any reason to do this, but just I would just love it for the sake of fun. Is like if you could see in real time the guy that you're making offer on, like how many open offers are out there for that manager.
that's true.
There's no reason for them to do this. Okay,
No,
this is not
but
this is not an idea. This is just a funsies for like me from afar.
I feel like I don't want anything that's going to make me read into things more than I already do, because I had that same thing you mentioned, like, am I really gonna, like, the difference is a substantial amount of ETH if you just look at the number of, like, if you just look at the raw number of Ethereum and like how much Ethereum you'll be able to turn around and spend. But then I look at the USD and I'm like, am I really gonna just like not be able to sell this dude over $5? Like, is that so? I'm probably gonna accept, and then I had it accepted. But if you added the open offers thing, I would be like, well, if he doesn't get this, then, and again, I know you said it's not an actual uh suggestion, but I'm just thinking, like, if I had it, I don't need anything else for me to like complicate my decision making, because I'm already over like,
Oh, it would be the stone worse because you'd be
yeah,
sitting there going like, God, 8 other offers. Can I slip this one in? The reason I was like sitting in my head is like that would actually I was thinking of like your little war there between those two people, and that would cause like the other guy just to go, I'm not gonna be petty over $5. I want this guy.
yeah.
Click buy. And I've actually tried to like convince myself personally to do that more, is just to buy the stuff from people if the price is fair.
That's what I've always done.
I mean, you're a good person,
I
Alex.
don't send
I
the
do.
I will send low offers, and then I'll sit there and be like, oh, it's been 20 minutes. He hasn't accepted. And but I at the same time, I had an offer out for a super rare overnight, and it was, I mean, like 56% of what the guy had the player listed for, but also the player
But I
the,
mean,
the listing price was, and he didn't
I,
answer.
I
I
was gonna
woke
say
up and
there's a
there was
difference.
nothing there.
There's a
So I was
difference
like,
between a low offer that's not founded on anything, that's just founded on taking advantage, and a low offer that's like, hey, your price is
right.
messed up, stuff not really coming out from anywhere. You know, my favorite, I was joking with somebody, and then I want to bring up something that happened on this over States episode with you.
Okay.
But I don't remember who I was messaging last night, but I've done this now 2 or 3 times to effectiveness. Now it's only on premium cards, Alex. Okay. I don't want
Okay.
people out there to thinking that I'm like the stone worst out there, because I'm not the stone worst. But have you had this? So I'm gonna set this up.
Okay.
Have you had when you rejected an offer and
I
another
think
offer doesn't come and you're just filled with regret?
I knew exactly where this was going. Yes, absolutely. 1,000% all of the time. Every offer I regret. I'm like, am I an idiot?
Yes. Okay, good. So we're laying the foundation for
Am
what
I
I'm
a
about to
moron,
do.
rather?
Do you see where this is going yet?
I mean, I saw that one. Where
Okay.
you going now?
So this is what I've been doing, but it's been on like super rares and like higher end rares. I don't think that this works for a 0.005 limited MLB. Just pay the piper. Like it's
Okay.
fine. But these are like on like 0.7 to like 1.4 ETH type of cards. Okay, so it's pretty large money. But I've done it where I send the offer that I know is fair, like it's based off like the last auction or the
Mhm.
last sale. I get the reject. I go, cool. I set myself an alarm for like 2 hours, and then I send it again.
I
And
always
then
think
I would. And then I wait like 4 hours after I get rejected, and I send it again.
I was thinking about doing that exact same thing. So this guy, this super rare that I'm trying to get, and then I set that offer for, and I canceled it. He hits directly in front of the guy that I bought from YNWA. So like, again, there's that correlation there that I'm like, I'm literally offering all of the ETH in my wallet for what it's worth, and then I got a little more from a rejected trade offer that I had sitting on the market. But yeah, I am considering just resending it, but I don't want to be
I
annoying.
think, well, so we just established, so on this, because somebody was like, oh, that's the absolute worst that you're doing that. And I'm like, is it? Is it? Because it's not an unfair offer. If
Right.
anything, she is being unfair in the listing price because they're just sending what they hope. And I'm just offering them what the market has said was fair previous.
Yeah.
And I'm just relying on the fact that they are just like what you just said that you always do. And the reason I've done this is because it's been me. I'm just sitting there, I'm like, oh, I rejected. Come on, just resend me the same offer. Oh, this is like and then it'll be like the one time I actually send Discord, and I'm like, I've done this before. Sometimes it works and sometimes it backfires, and I'll just be like, hey, dude, I shouldn't have declined. Send it again. You're good. And
I've
sometimes it works,
yeah, I've done
but
that.
that's where my strategy. So that's actually how I got Alex my, at this point, like one of my best cards in my gallery. I got my Christian Burgess super rare, was
Yes.
the sixth offer of the exact same amount over a 2-day span. And the guy had even messaged me and was like, hey mate, that's not good enough, I'm asking for this. And I responded back and I'm like, I sent you this because that's what he just sold for. Like, I'm
Yeah.
not trying to annoy you. And then he pulled off the market. I'm like, okay, so he decided not. And then I saw him post it back on the market one morning.
Yeah.
Didn't DM. I didn't want to get into that war. I didn't want to get like you try to pull me up. I'm just like, here's that offer again. I know you want
Just
it
in
now.
case.
Just in case, feel free to say no. I mean, it's
Yeah.
like 1.1 ETH or something like that. It's not like a small amount and it goes through. So I'm glad to think that you don't think any less of me.
No, I don't. I was listening and I was like, all right, I'm just gonna send the offer again. The problem is the dude. So I'm making an offer for a Ty France who hits directly in front of Mitch Haniger. I'm offering the dude point 0.1 more than he bought the card for.
How does it
And
relate to what it's selling for?
he's got it listed at 0.4. I sent him 0.23.
And but is there a previous like auction or sale?
There was another recent one that was 256 or
Point
something
two
like
five
that.
six weeks ago
Or
though.
wait, no, sorry. That one says 387, and that was the one mint.
Okay, which we always know comes with a little bit of
Right. But yeah, he bought for
seeing.
0.147 and I'm offering 0.23, so
I mean, I like that sometimes as a strategy is making sure. I've seen, sometimes people let a little bit of deal happen if they're making enough on it.
yeah.
And like, the trying to think of what he's done his service to the club, right? Done his service. Now he's time to make you a little bit of profit and get
Yeah.
out. But
Right.
yeah, I mean,
And
if
so
if it's fair,
he doesn't have enough of a team to run out a super rare lineup either. So it's not like
and I'm guessing a lot of people, the market for, I don't know anything about Thai France, but I'm guessing that the market isn't salivating over Thai France being on the market. It's probably a specific manager like you that's looking for a reason to have him.
yes. I will say that people are completely overpaying for playoff players, and I may be doing that by making this offer for Ty France, but also looking at the projections for next year, he's a top 20% producer. I shouldn't say all this because maybe this dude
It's
watches the
fine.
show and
That's fine.
he's going to be like, "Oh, I shouldn't make this deal." But
He's trying to make him pay. Make him
yeah.
pay.
So it actually lines up with players around him projection wise. So like projected directly like 5 points more than Nathaniel Lowe next season. So I'm basically offering what Nathaniel Lowe last went for. So that's how I justify a lot of my deals,
That
is
would
by
that'd
using
be
surrounding
amazing
players.
DM. Like if they ever had a messaging system,
Yeah, point to the
just like my comp player is him, and
yeah.
despite your player going for more money, I comp them to this, so take the lower guy price.
It's
That's one
it
of the
might
coolest parts
work.
about
Just
Sorare.
might work.
One of the coolest parts of Sorare is everybody can evaluate their guys at their own way, and
Hmm.
where when two people can meet on evaluation, a deal can be had. Otherwise, you're like, we'll go back to like Laird. Laird will decline a deal for, I I was just talking to him last night. Funny enough, shout out Laird, but it was a card. I hope he doesn't mind. I won't say the name of the card, and I won't even use the values the same, just in case. I don't want to screw it up. But let's just say that Laird had the guy listed for a week ago for a lesser price. Okay, would have been beyond happy to sell him.
Hmm.
And now he listed him for more. He did okay this weekend. Listed him for more. Got an offer for more than what he listed for last week. And Laird's like, nope, nope. I like my price now. And I'm like, but a week ago. And he's like, Keith, I know.
That's funny because that's another kind of pitfall that I fall into, is if someone offers me what I had them up for before, I'm like, I would be an idiot not to take this. And that's not always true. Because if the price goes up, the price goes up. Like if the price is good, it's good. If the price is right, go for it. But
I I love the volatility in the market though. It's like I would have sold him last week. I couldn't be, and this isn't on Laird. This is just in general.
mhm,
But I would have sold him last week. Don't want this guy in the gallery anymore. I'm not using him. And then he drops again. I'm talking football, so I don't know what the equivalent on the baseball side is, but he drops a 95, and you're like, price went up. Everybody, he had a good game,
yeah.
and now all of a sudden, like you're more attached to him, and you get these offers, and you're like, he's good. And no, I thought he's bummed for the last year, but he's good.
In soccer, I definitely feel that way more.
You
In
think it's more
baseball,
volatility in soccer off like the one game or the
I think I can draw more from one game than I can like a
sure.
single game week with MLB, because I know players are gonna regress to the mean. Whereas in football, it's like, okay, maybe something within the system changed. Maybe, they're gonna play this team again, and you're gonna get more, I don't know, attempted assists or whatever it is and stuff like
or
that. And
maybe
it's
or
I'm not
maybe you
necessarily
use
right. It's just that's how I think about it. With baseball, I'm confident. I'm like, yeah, they're gonna have a bad week soon, so like I'm just gonna sell now, and then when they have a bad week, I'll buy them back, unless it's
my
Bo
my
Bichette.
favorite thing in soccer, football, however you want to say it. Like I saw this last night. Um, shout out to Trippin if he listens, but it was in the Charlotte game. But they have this striker named Daniel Rios, who's been like a journeyman. Okay. You
Scored
actually know
four
the
last
deal?
week, didn't he?
Oh, that's what I'm talking about. So he scored 4 goals, and the announcers go, Daniel Rios has had a sensational season. He has 7 goals on the season. I'm like, 4 were last week. Stop that. He has like 13 starts. You're
Yeah,
talking he has a sensational season because he has like 7 goals and 13 starts. And I'm like, no, no, no. He had 4 in a game. Relax.
I can't believe their playoff hopes ended because Zelarayan caught their keeper off the line from the midfield.
No, yeah. I mean, that was an amazing goal. But like they I actually watched the whole game, and in a lot of
You
ways,
watched
neither team,
74 minutes of the game.
yeah, yeah, neither team deserved to win the game. Like Columbus, once again, couldn't defend at the end. It was a fun game to watch.
Yeah.
Charlotte, I love that crowd though. I think it's awesome that we have an MLS crowd that's like insane like that.
My best friend lives near Charlotte now, and we couldn't get him to pick a Premier League team forever. He's the one who got me into soccer, but it's only been international. And he lives near Charlotte now, and now he's a huge Charlotte fan, and he was
Does he
super.
go?
Yeah, he does. He's been to a
That's
couple games.
awesome.
Yeah.
You need to
He did
invite
find
him. You need to introduce him to Trippin. Trippin will show him the ropes.
that's true. I should. I gotta
Yeah.
link them up.
Yeah.
But yeah, he was a little heartbroken, and he finally did pick a Premier League team. Do you
Who
want to
was it?
guess which team?
I mean, if he's Spurs, he's disqualified from ever talking on this show
No,
again.
remember when I said he only used to like he got us into soccer, but it was only international basically that he cared
Okay.
about. Does that
Okay.
give you any more of an indication?
Not really.
Leeds,
Oh, because the USA
Martian,
connection.
Adams, and yeah,
Yeah,
Aronson. We finally
that's
got him
fine.
too.
I mean, Leeds
Yeah,
is fun. Leeds
yeah.
and Leeds isn't. You know what
That's who I
I feel bad
recommended to
for?
everybody. I had a couple of people last year like, I'm trying to get in the Premier League. Who should I root for? I was like,
You know what's actually cool about like doing that? Like if you can actually, it doesn't work too well because Bielsa is gone, a lot of the guys are gone. But I think it's actually awesome if you can like root for a team and then you get like a prime documentary on them or anything,
yeah,
and you
I
can see behind.
right. I I see a lot of. I have a couple of friends who are Sunderland fans, and
that was
uh,
that show was really good.
yeah, and now like I have alerts on my phone for Wrexham.
Okay,
I
I
don't
haven't
know if
all
you've watched
started
that.
it. I
It's
haven't started. Is it good?
it's good. It's good. It's funny. um, my my old baseball writer friend who covers the Cubs is now a big Liverpool fan, and he's super into soccer. And we were both like, yeah, the Welcome to Wrexham is like the only soccer or sports show that our wives have like wanted to watch with us. I was like, yeah, because they get to look at Ryan Reynolds and Rob McElhenney every episode. Like, no wonder.
Is it really all that football based though, or is it more drama, or
It's
is it a mixture?
it's episode to episode. Sometimes they
Right.
feature some of the people and like show you a little about Wrexham, but there was one episode where they really got into some of Phil Parkinson's tactics and you get to see
Okay, that's
highlights.
cool.
There was one where they showed about 10 minutes of highlights and then they show Wrexham scoring goals like 7th minute. And I was like, just show that first. But
That's
yeah,
awesome.
it's good. It's worth a watch. But yeah, so it's
If
funny how those can get people into things.
if you ever want to geek out, by the way, and it's actually really cool because they're working their way up now. But there's one I saw when I was on paternity leave the first time, and it's a class of '92. I forget the name of the team, but it's the Manchester United guys. It's Giggs, the Nevilles, and Paul Scholes.
Skulls, yeah.
Yeah, and they buy it like it's like a League Five team,
Yeah,
and
that's
like
right.
it's like a League Five, but I think they're like a League Two team now.
Yeah, I've
But it's
heard
kind
about
of
that.
cool. It's
That
a
is
good
cool.
one.
That's very cool.
It's short too. It's like 6 episodes,
That's cool.
but I dug that one.
This is the
So
longest time
anyhow,
I think we've ever talked about something other than Sorare.
that's what's fun. I mean, that's what me and you when we kind of did this grind thing. I haven't done enough on the channel on football. I'll get there once we get just little life stuff out, like a little bit extra life stuff out of the way. Little DFS calm down.
Yeah.
But I was gonna ask you. So what? But I was gonna say, but me and you, this grind show was more just meant to like let's not just go like deep dive player. Just have fun talking. Like that's some of
Yep.
the content I enjoy the most listening to when I'm out on the road is just like hearing a conversation around like so rare, but not necessarily like that's per the time. So anyhow, I did want to get your opinion on the Judge Unique.
Ah,
That's
so
71 ETH.
yeah, 70.72 or something like that. Zlatanur, who subscribes to the Patreon, by the way.
Oh,
So we're
very
first pitch
good.
Patreon. So he's
So he can
obviously a smart
definitely pay. He can definitely pay.
obviously a smart guy. Yeah, that $10 a month I don't think is hurting his pocketbook.
So what did you think?
I
Was
did
it
the
higher
MMA.
than you expected? Lower than you expected?
I mean, I think it was about 2.5 times the Otani,
Okay.
something like that, which
And
was surprising.
that was YNWA, right? That was Mark.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. Um, I don't know. I don't want to.
It's
It's always weird.
fine. It's an
It's
opinion,
weird with
man.
it's weird with stuff like this because I'm always looking at cards from a value perspective. I am the Guardians, and some teams are the Yankees. So, some galleries are the Yankees, and um, so when I look at it at a value perspective, it's preposterous. I'm looking at 70 ETH, and I'm like he's gonna return you like 123% of a 3 ETH card.
Right.
or which I actually don't think is true. I can give you the exact amount that he has produced relative to Ty
From like a
France. Ty France went for 3 ETH yesterday. All right, Aaron Judge, 207 weighted runs created plus, which means he has been 207% of the average major leaguer. So if I just do a direct value, this is how I think about things. So I just
of course, yeah.
So Ty France is 127.
Okay.
So that's a difference in 80%. So Aaron Judge is 80% better than Ty France. Like his production is 80% better.
So if you just go on value, maybe it should be like 8 to 10 ETH card.
I mean, multiplying what France went for by 1.8, it's a 5.5 ETH card.
Right, but there has to be a little, but
it's not that 1-to-1 correlation.
Right, but we all know that that's not how that, especially on MLB, there's definitely going to be a collector's edge. So now you have the first unique judge
in the year that he broke the AL home run record. Like there's plenty more to it. Yeah, go ahead.
You know what I love about the record thing, and like how badly we gasp for positive.
Oh God, you're gonna send me down a wormhole. I think I know exactly what
you're gonna say. It's okay. We don't have too much time, but we'll maybe end with the wormhole. But I just like, I didn't actually get to see, like, I don't turn the TV on too much, but it's like, oh, so what? Like, if you're like, I was like picturing a water cooler talk, okay? Like, you're trying to tell somebody that's not like a huge baseball fan. It's like, oh, so what did this Judge guy do? Did he break the home run record? And it's like, he broke the American League home run record. Or does he stand for the total record? Well, he now owns the non-provable, non-steroid home run record. But like,
yeah, it's
like an
ridiculous.
asterisk. It's like, so where does he actually live? He, like number 5? Is it 5th? It's like 5.
I think so. Yeah, I think Sosa, McGuire twice, Bonds twice. Yeah, something like that.
I just think it's so funny that we get the asterisk records.
It's right. The fact that they stopped the game and all of that, I was
the fact that somebody almost lost his life, like going for the ball.
Yeah. That I get,
how far did that guy fall down? How that had to be
far,
like, what,
10 feet,
14?
yeah, at least. Yes, it's grasping for news. It's sensationalizing something that, I mean, it's weird because I get so upset about this. I think about it and I'm like, it's so stupid how like we're treating this, but also it's a ton of home run. Like 5 people have done that ever. Like it's cool, but like I think you stop the game for Albert Pujols hitting 700. I don't think you stop the game for this, and I don't like to gatekeep fun. I like to do that less and less the older I get. I used to be all about just like, you shouldn't listen, you should be listening to this music and stuff like that. But now I'm like, just let it have fun. But I think it's the fact that it's the Yankees, and I'm like, the big media, which is another thing that I hate when you just blanket say the media, but like the sports media in general, we know that they hype up the Yankees. I'm like, if this was Jose Ramirez, like people would still not know who he is, which is completely unprovable and very wrong. But it's like, then you have Roger Maris Jr. on the podium being like, oh, there's no, like, kick rocks.
Hold on, Roger Maris Jr. having to travel with the team for like a week and a half because Judge like couldn't hit and then I was thinking about this too. You put all this like pressure on Judge, right?
And he finally started to crack.
Oh my God. What was it, like
frustrated.
10 games?
Yeah.
I mean, I get it. Baseball's hard enough that like I started to think back. I don't know if we've ever talked about this. This is like one of like my indelible baseball memories as a kid. Okay. You probably remember this, but Bobby Abreu, all right, like one of the better like hitters of like my childhood. Extra sting as a Rays fan because they had him and they traded him for, I want to say it was Brian Anderson or Kevin Stocker, I think was the trade. Anyhow,
Brian Anderson's from my neck of the woods.
Brian Anderson's great announcer. Like, yes, he is. Sucks that the Rays aren't on, but he and Dwayne Stats were just like so awesome to listen to for years.
I have a Brian Anderson like mini figurine sitting around
Yeah,
here
he
somewhere.
played for the he pitched for the Indians too.
Yeah, yeah, he's
Thought
from
about that.
Geneva, Ohio. He's like
Yeah,
two towns east of me.
yeah. So,
Anyway,
um, but yeah,
no one
so
cares
Bobby
about that.
Abreu was like anyhow. I remembered vividly. But Bobby Abreu, very like flat swing, just like roped balls,
Hmm.
and he did a home run derby one year.
Oh yeah,
That dude was wrecked the rest of his career. Like he
was he?
never. You
Yeah,
should go
I,
back and look
I
at it.
remember.
Like
I
he
remember
was
the rest of
wrecked,
that season specifically.
wrecked, and
I was worried the
then
same thing would happen to Jose Ramirez this year.
oh, because he was in it, and it's just such a
Yeah, and he turned
departure.
it. He turned it down the year that it was in Cleveland. But
Oh, interesting.
yeah, I mean, yeah, looking at Bobby
But
Abreu,
I
it
brought
had to
that
have been
up.
around 2004, right?
I brought that
2004,
up though.
2005.
I don't know about the mechanics of Aaron Judge's swing, other than he's a mammoth and the ball to the bat ratio probably is not fair.
Yeah.
But it came into my head because Abreu obviously at that point was like pushing it to get home runs because he was like a doubles hitter
Yeah.
that just every once in a while just would get the spin right and it would line out. And he decided to consciously try to uppercut a little bit more. I just figured like Judge probably had to have some of that in it. It's like, all right, I was fine just taking singles that would eventually turn into 450-foot bombs because I'm a monster. And now he's like, okay, well, singles, nobody's here to watch me hit a single.
And the one he hit was as soon as he swung, you knew he was hitting it in the rosette. It was a bomb. Did
It
you
would have
see
been a, but
did you see his dad? Speaking of his mechanics, his
no,
dad in the crowd.
no.
His dad was in the crowd going like trying to do one of the like elevate the ball, and the way that he did it, he like held it extended a little bit, and it looked like a very
That's awesome.
prominent salute from the 1940s in Germany. And Aaron
Oh,
Judge's
that's
wife
awesome.
saw him do it and was like, thought he was doing
Oh,
something completely different. But that's what that reminded me of.
well,
Yeah,
so
when you start
I was just
pushing,
gonna say
it's different.
yeah. So the unique, my opinion, I thought the price made sense given the records behind it, given like, if you project forward the collectability of So Rare, all that stuff, like it's an overpay in the moment. We all know that, but I mean, but like that card was always going to be an overpay in the moment. Like I think it would be a bigger concern if it didn't. If it went for like 20 or 30 ETH, I think that would have been a huge issue.
I agree. For what it's worth, I DM'd Zlatan after he won, and he said, "I have no idea how I feel."
Yeah, I mean, I
So
don't
just
think
going into the mindset of the person who bought the card.
I'm assuming you shouldn't really know how you feel. I'm
Sure.
also assuming I don't know anything about Zlatner, uh, other than thank you for being part of the community, but the sort of first pitch community. But I think that you, the type of person that buys the type of card, is also the type of person that I would hope that does not meaning that tonight he tells his family that they're eating ramen noodles
Yeah, I
because
don't think that's the case
that
with it.
dad just spent $110,000 on a JPEG
Yeah.
and we can't eat for the next week. Like, right? Like it's disposable income. Hopefully,
Sure.
it's money that he's quite the football player that he's made on the football side,
Yeah,
and this is an investment into what he projects over his
exactly.
future to be. Which again, who was I didn't watch the auction. Who was pushing him? Was it YNWA?
Yeah. And then
Right.
there was one person, YNWA made his offer that like was very clear. He went up a bunch and it was very clearly his
That
last offer. And then
okay.
some dude we had never heard of came in and dropped a bomb. Like it's like Minty Fresh or something like that. And the
Interesting.
only other card that he owns is the Aaron Judge #1 limited mint. And he spent like $1,600
Oh,
on that.
so it was a total like Gary V type of thing.
Yes, exactly.
Oh,
And
nice.
yeah, it was the only other baseball card at least
I
that he
bet
owned.
you, I bet you like the Marks and Wind Moon and that
Yeah.
super wheel, they would have been completely okay with that if they're not going to get the Judge card for it to go to
Yes.
somebody that's not going to play it.
Can't use it. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, that's
Wow.
interesting.
That's
Yeah,
cool.
that was the first auction that I've ever like
But
watched
that's a
live.
great
I did that's not true. I watched the live stream with I think
Holland.
Holland. Yeah.
Yeah, everybody did.
Yeah, that was good.
Yeah, it was
I
fun.
I wanted to like corral some people to do it for the judge auction and go live and post it and everything. But I'm
Well,
like in the
we'll
middle of
try
my
it.
work
Well,
day.
maybe if nothing else, yeah. I mean, maybe if we ever can figure it out, and whether it's like the LeBron unique or whatever big one's coming up, we can do
Giannis or
that.
Luka or
I
something.
don't want to jump into the football. There's people that do football better than we can do,
Yeah,
but maybe we can have
right.
our own little corner on baseball or basketball. That would be fun. All right, we're about running out of time. So
Yeah, we are.
anything? Yeah, this was fun. We didn't come up with a topic, but
That's fine. This is one of the more fun episodes. I do have a
yeah,
hot take that I want to leave you with
please.
before we get out
Let's
of
see
here.
the hot take.
Bobby Abreu,
Okay.
Hall of Famer.
Oh, he should be for sure. I mean, I don't even know the numbers, but I just know the eye test. I mean, dude, that guy. Okay,
One
so
of the best
I
one of the best hitters of that generation.
yeah, so I know 90s and early 2000s baseball better than I know current baseball.
Mhm.
Okay, but Bobby Abreu underrated in the field. That dude had a cannon of an arm too, and then his arm, like early Abreu had a cannon. I think by the end,
Yes.
like he there was nothing left.
Yes.
I mean, he just hit a
Absolutely.
wall. It's fine.
So this is just for right fielders.
Uh-huh.
So looking at there's a Jaws score. It's Jay Jaffe's Hall of Fame like weight index.
Okay.
He has a better score than Vladimir Guerrero,
Oh,
um,
doesn't
Enos
surprise me.
Slaughter, if you know him. I know all our Cardinals guys know him. But like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. He's got better numbers than 11 players at his position in the Hall of Fame, just behind Dave Winfield, who's in the Hall of Fame, just behind Sammy Sosa, just behind Ichiro in America. So
So is he
I,
gonna? Does he even get the? I mean, I'm assuming he's been gone for a while. He's been on the
he's on
ballot.
the
Does he?
ballot. Yeah, he's getting like 5%. He got a nice little bump up this year, but I don't think he ever
Okay.
gets in, but I think he should. Craziest thing about all those guys that I just named, Mookie Betts is ahead of all of them and just behind Tony
I
Gwynn. So like
mean,
he's
Mookie Betts
already a Hall of Famer.
passes. Mookie Betts passes the smell or eye test as like there's something different.
Yeah. Oh
You
yeah.
know, like
And he's
he
only
should
like
be in there.
28.
Yeah.
He got
I
plenty of
mean,
time left.
one of my favorite things. I love
Turns
listening to
30
Bill
tomorrow.
Simmons. I love listening to Bill Simmons pod.
Yeah.
Just the way he presents, I just enjoy it. And every single time Mookie Betts name gets brought up, you hear,
Yeah.
like,
Yeah.
like we had to go there. Like, can we just like not talk about that trade that ruined Boston baseball for the next like 5 years?
I don't even think they got much. They got
No,
Verdugo,
it's bad. Alex
Connor
Verdugo's still
Wong, and
there.
Jeter Downs.
It was a pretty rough. They got Verdugo, I believe, back too.
Yeah.
It's
Verdugo, Connor Wong, and Jeter Downs. Yeah, that's been
pretty
great.
rough. Pretty
I
rough.
did not know he was Terry Shumpert's nephew. That's cool.
There you go. And now you thought the one thing was lead us down the rabbit hole, and it was Bobby Bray. Actually, you did say Bobby Bray you would lead you down the rabbit hole, and here we are.
That and the judge thing, yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. Anyway,
Yeah. All
yeah,
right.
I'm almost about to start end this thing.
We're gonna end this thing. Alex, thanks again. Real quick, do first pitch plug. Let's get out of here.
First pitch Patreon. At this point, $5 you can get projections for the rest of the playoffs. $10 you can get Zips projections for next year. Which I mean, you can pull that yourself off of Fangraphs for what it's worth. But we've got the projected points for next year. We've got value calculations with the current prices, all of that. So $10. I mean, and then you can unsubscribe if you don't want some of the statistical deep dives that we do over the off season or
Promise we
NBA content.
won't run after you. It's
Yeah, no,
not
like
about that
just
by any
it's
means.
$10, and
Yep.
I didn't even want to sell my projections. I just wanted to do them, but people asked for it, and here we are. So you can
And
have
here
them
we
if you want
are.
them.
If you want them, they're there. If not, keep listening. And then if you're still around, like, subscribe,
Yes,
comment to the video, what we're doing. All right, Alex, take it easy. Have a good week. Okay.
you too, man.
Bye.